So, good morning, all of you. In the last class, we have looked into the concepts like what is if, and what is if, elif, and else. Okay. So there are three types of control flow statements. Among those three types of control flow statements, first one is decision making. In decision making, we're having three sorts. First one is by using if statement. Second one, if else statement, and the third one is if, elif, else statement. Okay. If we have learned these three concepts, we are going to know about three keywords. Those three keywords are called if, I of if. Second one is ELS, else, and the third one is elif, ELIF, elif. Okay, these are three keywords. See, in the if statement, first the condition is being checked. First the condition is being checked. If the condition is true, that means in the if statement there will be a condition, and if the particular condition is true, then the interpreter enters into the body of the if and execute the body. If the if condition is false, then it does not enter into the body and it will be coming out of the program. You can look that particular concept in this flowchart also. So this is the text expression. If it is true, it enters into the body of if, and if it is not true, it comes out of the program. Okay. Here there will be only one statement. Here there will be only one condition. That means only two conditions is only being available. Suppose if you want two conditions, then we can go to concept called if else statement. If else statement. See now in this particular statement, first the condition is being checked. First the condition is being checked. If the condition is true, then it enters into the body of if and execute the body and execute the statement. Condition true A, it enters into the body of if and executes the statement. Suppose if the condition is false, then it enters into the body of else. That means either it enters into the body of if or either it enters into the body of else. It does not come out of the program. Whereas in if statement, if the condition is false, then it comes out of the program. But in if else condition, there is no such thing like coming out of the program. It either enters into the body of if or either enters into the body of else. Okay. And one thing to be remembered is for if we need to mention some sort of condition, but for else we don't need to mention any condition. For else we no need to mention any sort of condition. If a condition is being mentioned at the time of else, then a syntax error will be raised. Then a syntax error will be raised. And the third one is if elif else statement. If elif else statement. See, if elif else. There are three keywords involved in this particular concept. If, elif, else. In between an if and else, there can be n number of elif statements. In between if and else, there can be n number of elif statements. The procedure here is first it checks the condition of if. First it checks the condition of if. If the condition of if is true, it enters into the body of if. If the condition of if is false, then it enters into the elif conditions. Then it enters into the elif conditions. It checks all the elif conditions, and if all the elif conditions are also false, then it enters into the else condition. Then it enters into the else condition. In this particular type also, at the time of else, we no need to mention any sort of conditions. Okay, these are the three statements which we have learned yesterday with minimum programs. With minimum programs. Now today what should we do is yesterday we have taken only a single condition for if. At the time of mentioning if else conditions, I have taken a single condition in if. Now today what shall we do is, what if we need to write a program like whether a given character is a vowel or not, whether a given character is an vowel or not. See, in yesterday's conditions, for if I have given only one condition, if that particular variable modular division 2 equal to 0, then print even number. In if there is only one condition available. But today we shall check if there are n number of conditions available in if statement. How the interpreter will be working out there. How the interpreter will be working out there. So what shall I do is, now we shall design a program to check whether a given, now we shall get whether a given character is a vowel or not. That too by using input statement. That too by using input statement. Okay. Now I will be opening the IDLE page. I will be opening the IDLE page. Take a file. Take a file named as sample.py. Take a file named as sample.py. So when we look into this program, see, I have taken a character variable. I have taken a character variable where ch is a variable. For that, I have assigned input. One second. I will be arranging the program into correct positions. Okay, this is our program. Okay, so ch is a variable. Where input is the function. And this will be our prompt message. So user need to enter a character at the time of runtime, at runtime environment. So user need to enter a character at the time of running or compiling, at the time of running the program. So input function, and this is nothing but called the prompt which we are going to receive in the IDLE page, and ch is a variable. So at the time of running the program, the user gives a character. The user enters a character. That particular character will be assigned to this particular variable called ch. Suppose I have entered a character called p. In uppercase letter. P. P for power. P in uppercase letter. Okay. See, remember, enter a character in the sense I am going to give a character in uppercase alphabet P. That particular P is assigned to this variable called ch. That particular variable P, so that particular value P is assigned to the variable called ch. Now, if you look into the if condition, there are 10 conditions here. Till yesterday, we have checked in if condition only one case. In if statement, there is only one condition. But today, what I am saying is, in if statement, we can have n number of conditions. So now the variable ch consists of the character called p in uppercase letter. So let's check now. So ch in the sense uppercase letter p. Is p equal to a? No. Is p equal to capital A? No. Is p equal to capital E? No. So the interpreter checks for all the 10 conditions which are available in if statement. The interpreter checks for all the 10 conditions which are available in the if statement. Here we are using or as an operator. Or as an operator. We can either use AND operator also. A and the N. Or in the sense, if here we are having 10 conditions. Here in this if statement we are having 10 conditions. R function does, what does R function does means, if any of the condition among the 10 is true, if any of the conditions if any one of the condition among the 10 are satisfied, then it enters into the body of if and executes the statement. ఈ 10 conditions లో ఏ ఒక్క condition satisfy అయినా, then it enters into the body of if. Suppose if all the 10 conditions in the if statement are failed, then it enters into the body of else. Okay. Now we shall execute this program. Go to file, save this particular file, go to run module. See here, the interpreter has asked me a prompt by enter a character. As I said, I am giving a character with uppercase letter P. So, vowels in the sense A, E, I, O, U. Okay, in either lowercase or in uppercase. In that particular 10 conditions, are we having uppercase P? We are not having uppercase P, right? Then the output will be P is not a vowel. P is not a vowel. Suppose I shall change the character now. Suppose again I shall go to the program. I shall execute this program again. run module, execute the program again, run module. Now we shall change the alphabet. So I am giving capital I. I am giving capital uppercase letter I. So now I is a vowel. I is a vowel. So the main point and my intention in this particular program is in if we can give n number of conditions. In if we can give n number of conditions. Whereas in between if and else there can be n number of elif statements. There can be n number of elif statements. ఒక if లో n number of statements, n number of conditions ని మెన్షన్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. ఒక if కి ఒక else కి మధ్యలో elif కి n number of elifs యూజ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. Clear everyone? So this is a program how we can check whether a given character is vowel or not, and we can change this particular program. We can change this particular program like this also. So instead of writing all this, we can write, we can directly write like this. We can directly take this particular value like this also. So ch is equal to p. So I assigned the value to this particular variable in this program itself. At the time of running the program, the system, the interpreter will not be giving any prompt message for us. Automatically, the variable ch will be stored with this particular variable, particular value called p. So now it checks with all the 10 conditions. Here, instead of r, we can write end also, a and d, end. R in the sense, if any of the, if any one of the condition is satisfied among the 10, then it returns into the body of if. And in the sense, all the conditions in the if must be satisfied. All the conditions in if must be satisfied to enter into the body of if. Or in the sense, any one condition, if any one condition is being satisfied, then it enters into the body of if. Clear? So this is the program to decide whether a given character is an vowel or not. Okay. Now we shall check. We shall have a small program. We shall have a small program where we need to use only two variables. Where we need to use only two variables, and we need to swap the values. We need to swap the values. That means we are not going to use any sort of third variable. We are not going to use any sort of third variable like this. See, all the programs I'm explaining by using input function, because you need to be familiar with input also. You need to be familiar with input also. Okay. So first what I have taken is a two variables. Two variables. A is equal to, yesterday already I told you, this is a prompt message. This is a prompt message. Input is the function. Input is the function. As soon as I run the program, first the prompt message which is occurred to me is enter value of A. Enter value of A. So after the user gives a value to A, then that particular value will be assigned to this variable A. After the user gives a value, that particular value will be assigned to A, and that too, that particular value need to be an integer. That particular value need to be an integer. In the same way for B also. In the same way for B. This is the prompt message. This is the input function, and that value need to be as integer. And that value need to be as integer. And this is the logic for swapping of two numbers. This is the logic for swapping of two numbers. Suppose what I shall do is I shall give the value of A as 3 at the runtime environment, and I shall give the value as 6 for B. I shall give the value of 6 for B. Clear? So the value of A is 3 and the value of B is 6. Now how are we going to swap the values? How are we going to swap the values? So this particular statement, in this particular statement, A is equal to A plus B. A is equal to A plus B. Right? So what will be the value of A plus B? Here the value of A will be 9. 6 plus 3 is equal to 9. Okay. So now the value of A is 9. Now the value of A is 9. Okay. Now, okay. Now in the next statement, B is equal to A minus B. So the value of A is 9 and the value of B is 6. 9 minus 6 in the sense 3. 9 minus 6 in the sense 3. So the value of A is 9 and the value of B is 3. In the next statement, A is equal to A. The value of A is 9 and the value of B is 3. So 9 minus 3, we are going to get the value as 6. 9 minus 3, we are going to get the value as 6. Okay. Now, I shall ask the interpreter to print the value of A. In the same way, to print the value of B. Okay. So, initially we started the value of A as 3 and the value of B as 6. The value of A as 3 and the value of B as 6. But we have performed some logic and we have changed the value of A into 6 and the value of B as 3. We shall look into the output. Run the program. Run the program. Stop sharing. Go to ideally prompt. Here. See, as I mentioned, this is the prompt message. Enter the value of A in this sense 3. Next, enter the value of B in this sense 6. Now look at here. The value of A is 6 and the value of B is 3. That means we have swapped the value of two values without using a third variable. Without using a third variable called temp or any other variable. Clear? This is how we can swap two numbers without using a third variable. Now we shall check how can we swap two numbers by using a third variable. ఈ ప్రోగ్రామ్ లో ఏం చేసామంటే రెండు నెంబర్స్ ని స్వాప్ చేసాం without using third variable. Now we shall take a program where we can swap two numbers by using a third variable. అంటే వాంటెడ్ గా నేను థర్డ్ వేరియబుల్ ని బేస్ చేసుకొని స్వాప్ చేయాలి అంటున్నాం. So we shall check here. You can go to the sample.py page, sample.py page, and here we must change the logic. Can anyone tell me the logic? Can anyone tell me the logic? How can we change it? How can we swap the two values by using a third variable? Means take a temporary variable. Temp is equal to A. Temp is equal to A. Can anyone tell me? How can we swap two variables by using a third variable? We can use third variable also, but how can we do that? How can we perform the operation? Temp is equal to A is equal to B, and B is equal to 10. B is equal to 10. Now I can look at here. At the time of prompt, I'll be giving A value as 3 and B value as 6. So now in temp, what the value will be stored is 3. Is it right? What the value stored is 3. So temp is equal to A. The value of A is 3. So that particular value will be assigned to temp. Temp is equal to 3. Okay, for this statement, the meaning is temp is equal to 3. Okay, for the next statement, here the value of A is equal to B. So what is B value? B value is 6. B value is 6. Remember, this is a variable. Temp is a variable where this particular variable will be assigned with this value. Okay, so A is equal to 6. In the next statement, so the value of B is equal to temp. So what is the value of temp? Temp is equal to 3. Temp is equal to 3. This is the procedure. Here we have used three variables called temp, A and B. Temp, A and B. These are the three variables which we have used. But in previous example, we did not use the third variable. But in previous example, we did not use any sort of third variable. Now we shall check out. Save the program, go to run the module, open the IDE prompt. Now, this is the prompt message. Enter the value of A, as I said 3, and enter the value of B, then 6. See, the values has been swapped. In this particular example, there is no usage of third variable. In this particular example, I have used third variable. Simple. The whole program will be same, whereas the 3 lines of logic will be different. For swapping of two numbers without using a third variable, we will be doing like previous example. Suppose if you're going to use a third variable, then we need to do like that. The difference between those two is the logic. If you are not going to use any sort of third variable, then the logic will be like a is equal to a plus b is equal to a minus b, and a is equal to a minus b. If you are going to use a third variable, temp is equal to a equal to b, and b equal to temp. Simple. Only the modification will be done in those particular 3 lines of the coding. Only in that particular 3 lines of coding. Clear? Now, now we shall go into another example where in control flow. Okay. Okay. Now my example is I need to use if, elif, else statements. In this particular program, I need to use, that means user need to use if condition, elif condition, else condition, and you need to perform all the arithmetic operators. You need to perform all the arithmetic operators. Clear with my aim? User ఏం చేయాలి అంటే you need to write a program by using if, elif, else statements. If use చేయాలి, elif use చేయాలి, else కూడా use చేయాలి. By using these three statements, what you need to perform is you need to perform all the arithmetic operators. You need to perform all the arithmetic operators. Okay. Now we shall see how can we perform that particular program. So go to sample.py page again.
చెప్పు లైన్ లో ఉండు. అరే మనం పోతుంగా మనం పోతుంగా సేవకు డబ్బులు ఇచ్చి తగ్గించుకున్నందుకు మనం వెళ్దాంగా. ఎలా నువ్వు
Okay, this is a program. The main aim of the program is we need to perform all the arithmetic operators, that too by using if, elif, and else statements also. Okay, I shall divide the program such a way that it will be easy for you to understand. In such a way that it will be easy to understand. So first 8 are print statements. First 8 consists of print statements. Okay, in the first 8 print statements, what I have mentioned is like this. First, print options. So immediately after I run the particular program, these 8 statements will be automatically displayed for us. These 8 statements will be automatically displayed for us. Like first line options, in second line 1 addition, 2 subtraction, 3 multiplication, 4 division, 5 modular division, 6 floor division, and 7th one exponent. Okay, these are all the 8 lines which we get automatically when we are going to run the program. Now I have taken a variable called OPT, that is option. I have taken a variable called OPT where I am asking where the particular value will be assigned in the runtime. So immediately after this particular 8 statements, next the interpreter will be giving a prompt to us like enter option. That means we need to provide like option 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or any other value. Next, I am asking what is the value of A and what is the value of B. I have taken 2 variables. Why? Because in order to perform any arithmetic operator, we minimum require 2 variables, right? So for that purpose, I have taken the value as A and I have taken the variables as A and B. And that too, the particular variables need to be in integer only. Those two, the value of A and B need to be given in integer only. So if I run this particular program, automatically I will get these particular 8 lines. And the next prompt message is we user need to give an option where the option can be any character or anything. Suppose if you give 1, then it gets executed. 2 execute, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay. If you give beyond like 8, 9, 10, then it automatically comes out of the program. Why it comes out of the program? We shall look into the later stage of the data stage. Okay, see now the first if condition what I have done is if option is equal to 1, option is equal to 1, then we need to the thing which need to be performed is C is equal to A plus B. C is equal to A plus B. Okay, in the same way, if option is equal to 2, if option is equal to 2, the program need to be performed like C is equal to A minus B. C is equal to A minus B. So this is if condition, that is if condition, and here elif, in elif this is second condition. In elif this is second condition for multiplication, and this is fourth condition, and this is fourth condition which is used for division, normal division, and this particular elif condition is used for modulus division where it returns the remainder value. This elif condition will be used for float division where the quotient value will be returned in the form of integer, where the quotient value will be returned in the form of integer. And this particular elif condition is used for exponentiation, nothing but called power function. Okay, and the final one is if, and the final one is else, and the final one is else. Okay, now the program must be clearly understood by you. There is only one if condition, there is only one else condition. In between those, I have mentioned n number of elif conditions. I have mentioned n number of elif conditions. N number in the sense I have mentioned 6 number of elif conditions. Okay, already I told you in Python there can be n number of elif conditions. In Python there can be n number of elif conditions. See, at the time of else, I did not mention any sort of condition. I did not mention any condition in else statement. Okay, if I mentioned any statement, if I mentioned any condition in else, then it raises an syntax error. Then it raises an syntax error. So immediately here I, as a user, I will be giving the value option as 3. I will be giving the option as 3. Okay, so after compiling this particular program, first the message which we are going to get is enter option. So as a user I have given the option as 3. I have given the option as 3. So now enter the value of A. Enter the value of A. I have given 9. I have given 9. In the same way, enter the value of B. I have given 6. I have given 6. So option will be 3, A value will be 9, and B value will be 6. Now we shall what will be the internal working of the program? We shall look here. So if OPT, what is the value of OPT here? What is the value of OPT? So we have considered as 3. The value of OPT is 3. So 3 equal to 1. Is 3 equal to 1? Look at here. Is 3 equal to 1? So this if condition is failed. Here the if condition is failed. So it does not enter into the body and it does not perform any statement. And is that it does not perform any execution. Here the if statement has been failed. In this condition, for this the condition has been failed and it does not enter into the body of if. Okay. Next it comes into the else part. Sorry, elif. Then it comes into the elif part. Now again it checks OPT. OPT in the sense the value of OPT is 3. 3 equal to 2. 3 equal to 2. Is 3 equal to 2? The condition has failed. Since the condition has failed, it does not enter into the particular elif body. The condition has been failed, so it does not enter into the body of elif. Again, next it comes into this particular condition. Next, this comes into interpreter comes into this particular condition. So elif of OPT indices, the value of OPT is 3. 3 equal to 3. 3 equal to 3. Is 3 equal to 3? Correct, right? So here the condition has been satisfied. Since the condition has been satisfied here, it enters into the body and executes this particular statement, which is called C is equal to A into B. So C is a variable where the value will be assigned after performing this particular expression. The value of A is 9 and the value of B is 6. So 9 into 6, 54. This particular value 54 will be assigned to the variable C. Clear? So C is equal to 54. Now the interpreter will not check all these remaining conditions. The interpreter will not check all the remaining conditions. It automatically prints and it gives me output like result is equal to 6. Result is equal to 6. Suppose let us consider at the time of giving an option, at the time of entering an option, if the user has given like this 9 or like 18 or like 18. Okay, now the user has given an option as 18. What the interpreter does is first it checks the condition here. Is 18 equal to 1? No. Is 18 equal to 2? No. 18 equal to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if condition has been failed, all the elif conditions has been failed. Then automatically it enters into the else condition and returns as invalid option. Since there is no option available 18 in this particular program. Since there is no option 18 available in this particular program. Okay, now we shall have a look at this. I have considering the option as 3. Go to run module, go to IDE EEPROM, See, automatically the first 8 lines have been performed here. These first 8 lines are automatically, which we have mentioned in the print statement. So this is the prompt message. This is the first prompt message. Now I need to give enter option as 3. I have given enter option 3. Now enter value for A. As I have given at the time of explanation, the value of A is 9 and the value of B is 6. So all these 3 statements are performed at the time of runtime, at the time of executing running the program. ఇక్కడ ఇచ్చిన 3, 9, 6 అనే values runtime లో ఇచ్చిన values ఇవి. Okay, we can now see 9 into 6 result is equal to 54. Now we shall check, we shall execute the program again and we shall give here the option like 18. Here we can give the option like 18. So what the value will, what is the output we'll be getting is invalid option. Invalid option, since there is no condition which is satisfied with OPT is equal to 18. Okay, now we shall check again with the program. Now my option is 18. Remember, option is 18. So save this program, go to run module, go to the IDE EEPROM, okay. See, now look into here. We have got all the 8 options again and it's asking enter an option called, then we are giving 18. So the value of A is 9 and the value of B is 6. Immediately after pressing enter button, we are going to get the output as invalid option. We are going to get the output as invalid option, as well as name C is not defined, as well as the name C is not defined. Why? Because in else statement we did not mention any sort of C. Why? Because in else statement we did not mention any sort of variable called C. Clear? Once again I will be opening the program. See, we have got invalid option, and after if, elif and else, this is the final statement. Since we did not mention any sort of C, we are not going to get any option. So it has shown as syntax error. Clear? This is the program. Any doubts in this particular program? In today's class, what we are discussing, in if we can give n number of conditions, and in between if and else we can give n number of elif statements. We can give n number of elif conditions also. Okay, next program. Coming to the next program. Now what we shall look is nested if statements. Nested if statements. Nested if statement means in between if and else, if you are going to get if else again, oka if ki oka else ki majhlo if else vaste, it is called as nested if else statements. It is called as nested if else statements. So oka if ki oka else ki majhlo, again if and else are used, then it is called nested if statements. So we shall execute this program now. We shall execute this program now. The main aim of the program is check whether the given number is positive number, negative number, or a zero number. Positive number or negative number or a zero number. That is the aim of the program. That is our aim of the program. Okay. Now check here. I have taken a variable called num. We have considered a variable called num, where this will be our prompt message. This will be input function, and the number which we are going to take need to be an integer. Okay. And this is our first condition. If num greater than or equal to 0. If num greater than or equal to 0. And this is the second condition of if, where num equal to 0, where num equal to 0. Okay. For this this is the indentation part. For this is the indentation part, and this will be else part. This will be else part, and for this else, this will be the body, and this will be the outer else. This will be the outer else. So clear with this program. ఇక్కడ చూసినట్టయితే ఒక ఇఫ్ కి ఒక ఎల్స్ కి మధ్యలో మళ్ళీ ఇఫ్ ఎల్స్ వాడుతున్నాం మనం. In between an if else, we are going to use another if else condition, which is nothing but called as nested if. Which is nothing but called as nested if else statement. So how this particular program is going to execute? How this particular program is going to execute? See, num is a variable where the value of variable will be assigned at the time of runtime environment. At the time of runtime environment. Okay, now I am going to give a value like 9. In the runtime, immediately after I got a prompt like enter a number, I have given a value as 9. Okay, now what the program will do? How the program will be performing? So if num, that means 9, greater than or equal to 0. Greater than or equal to 0. So num is 9, right? 9 is greater than or equal to 0. The condition has been satisfied. So since the condition has been satisfied, it enters into this if. It enters into the body of if. It enters into the body of if. Here it checks again. Num equal to 0. Num in the sense 9. 9 equal to 0. Is 9 equal to 0? No, right? It does not enter into this body. It does not enter into this body. That means this particular statement will not be going to be executed. If this particular if condition is gone, then automatically which will be executed is positive number. Positive number. Okay, అదవుతుందా? ఫస్ట్ ఇక్కడ if condition చెక్ చేసుకొని if condition satisfy అయితే nested if లో చూసుకోండి. Nested if condition satisfy అవ్వలేదు కాబట్టి it enters into the else statement. It enters into the else statement. So if the user is going to give a value like 9, the statement which is going to perform will be available here. It will be, the option will be here. Suppose I have considered the value as 0. I have considered the value as 0 at the time of running the program. When I got a prompt message like enter a number, I have given the value as 0. Now again the program execution will be like this. If num in the sense 0 greater than or equal to 0. Is 0 greater than or equal to 0? So the condition is satisfied. True, right? 0 greater than or equal to 0. So the condition is satisfied. Now it enters into here. It enters into the inner if loop. Inner if condition. Inner if condition. So num in the sense 0. Is 0 equal to 0? Condition is true, right? Then the output will be 0 number. Then the output will be 0 number. Then the output will be 0 number. Suppose if I given any value like minus 18, if I given any value like minus 18, so minus 18 greater than or equal to 0. Is minus 18 greater than or equal to 0? The condition has failed, right? So since the if condition has been failed here, the interpreter does not check for these inner if else statements. The interpreter will not check for inner if and if else statements. It automatically throws as negative number. It automatically throws negative number. అంతే కదా. ఇక్కడ if condition పోయినప్పుడు ఈ బాడీలోకి ఎంటర్ అవ్వదు కదా. If the if condition has been failed, the interpreter does not enter into the body of if. automatically it go to else and it checks for this and it runs this particular statement. So ఒక పాజిటివ్ నెంబర్ తీసుకున్నప్పుడు ఇక్కడ సాటిస్ఫై అవుతుంది. If you take a zero number, here it gets satisfied. If you take a negative number, here it gets satisfied. Clear? Now we shall perform. Okay. Save. Go to run module. Go to ideally form. See, I have got like this. Enter a number. So I am taking positive number. So it needs to return as positive number. If I take a negative number like -9, the output will be negative number. If I take a value as 0, the output will be as 0 number. Okay. We shall once again execute. With another value. Go to sample.py. Again run the module. Again go to the ideally prompt. Okay, see here, enter a number, give as 0. Now it need to return as 0 number. Clear? 0 number. So ఇవాళ క్లాస్ లో ఇఫ్ లో n నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ కండిషన్స్ యూస్ చేయొచ్చు అనేది మాట్లాడుకున్నాం. సెకండ్ వన్, ఒక ఇఫ్ కి ఒక ఎల్స్ కి మధ్యలో దేర్ కెన్ బి n నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ ఇఫ్ కండిషన్స్. థర్డ్ వన్, nested if else statements. Clear? ఒక if కి ఒక else కి మధ్యలో there can be n number of if else also. ఒక if కి ఒక else కి మధ్యలో if else ఉంటే మళ్ళా that is called as nested if else statements. Okay. Now next program. Now going to the next program like this. See, now my program is the user needs to consider three subjects. My program is the user needs to consider three subjects where the three subjects need to be given marks at the time of running environment. Okay. ఇప్పుడు యూజర్ ఏం చేయాలి అంటే ఒక త్రీ సబ్జెక్ట్స్ తీసుకొని ఆ త్రీ సబ్జెక్ట్స్ మార్క్స్ రన్ టైమ్ ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ లో ఇవ్వాలి. ఆ వాల్యూస్ ఏంటనేది, అంటే ఆ సబ్జెక్ట్ లో ఎన్ని మార్క్స్ వచ్చినాయి అనేది రన్ టైమ్ ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ లో పెర్ఫార్మ్ చేయాలి, ఇవ్వాలి ఆ వాల్యూస్ ఏంటనేది. సో ఆఫ్టర్ గివింగ్ త్రీ మార్క్స్ టు త్రీ సబ్జెక్ట్స్, all the three marks need to be added and need to be averaged. ఆ వచ్చిన యావరేజ్ బట్టి that particular student ఫస్ట్ క్లాసా, సెకండ్ క్లాసా, థర్డ్ క్లాసా, లేకపోతే ఫెయిల్ అయ్యాడో డిసైడ్ అవ్వాలి. అర్థమవుతున్న ప్రోగ్రామ్? we need to consider three subjects. Okay. ఆ త్రీ సబ్జెక్ట్స్ కి మార్క్స్ ఇవ్వాలి, బట్ అట్ ది టైమ్ ఆఫ్ రన్ టైమ్. డైరెక్ట్ గా నేను సబ్జెక్ట్ నేమ్ ఈక్వల్ టు మార్క్స్ ఇవ్వకూడదు, ఇన్పుట్ అనే ఫంక్షన్ యూస్ చేయాలని చెప్తున్నాను. ఓకే. ఆఫ్టర్ దట్ పర్టికులర్ 3 marks has been given, then what we need to do is we need to sum all the three subjects. We need to sum up all the three subjects and we need to do average. After we got the average value, then we need to decide that particular student has got whether A grade or B grade or C grade or D grade or failed in the exam. Okay. Okay, this is the program. So the subjects which I am going to take are C++. Better we go for the Python. Okay. So the variables are C++, Python. Here we consider three variables. Here we have considered three variables. Okay. All these three variables need to be mentioned in integer data type only, where the prompt messages are enter C marks, enter C++ marks, enter Python marks. So immediately if I press the enter button, the first prompt message which I am going to get is enter C marks. Suppose I am giving like 72. Next prompt message is enter C++ marks. So I am giving as 81. Next third prompt message is enter Python marks. I am giving like 90. So these are the 3 marks. So the value of C is 72, the value of C++ is 81, and the value of Python is 90. Okay, and at the time of giving the question, I have given certain conditions. What are the conditions? Means I need to use input statement, and I need to consider 3 subjects. Those 3 subjects need to be added to the total, and the total must be converted into average. Based upon the particular average, I need to decide whether student got A grade, B grade, C grade, D grade, or failed in the exam. Okay, now I am ready with these 3 marks. I am ready with these 3 marks. Okay, suppose in the if condition, what the condition I am going to give is, if that particular student has got minimum of 40 marks. If the student has got minimum of 40 marks. Why? Because if the student does not got minimum of 40 marks, then he will be entered into the failed condition, right? Then he will be entered into the failed condition. So what I'm checking initially is whether the student has got minimum, that means greater than or equal to 40 marks in every subject or not. See here, C greater than or equal to 40, and CPP greater than or equal to 40, and Python greater than or equal to 40. Here I am using AND operator, right? So all the 3 conditions which are available in if need to be satisfied. ఇందాక ఓవెల్ సెట్ చేసినప్పుడు ఆర్ కాబట్టి ఉన్న అన్ని కండిషన్స్ లో ఏ ఒక్క కండిషన్ సాటిస్ఫై అయినా ఓకే అనుకున్నాం. But now we are going to use AND operator. That means all the 3 conditions need to be satisfied. Then only it enters into the body of if. Then only it enters into the body of if. Okay, next, what the thing to suppose if that particular student has got more than 40 marks in every subject, in all the 3 subjects, then what the thing to be done is sum. I have taken a variable called sum, where the value to this variable will be assigned by adding all the 3 marks, okay. So 72 plus 81 plus 90, the sum of these 2 marks will be available. The total of these 3 marks will be available in this particular variable sum. After I got sum, I have taken avg, a variable where I am averaging the marks. So sum by 3. So the value of sum will be done by totaling of this. So 72 plus 81 plus 90, ఒక వాల్యూ వస్తుంది కదా, ఆ వాల్యూని సమ్ అనే వేరియబుల్ లో స్టోర్ అవుతుంది. సో యావరేజ్ అనే వేరియబుల్ ఏం చేస్తుంది, ఇక్కడ స్టోర్ అయిన వాల్యూ సమ్ డివైడెడ్ బై 3. Why 3 only? In the sense we are considering only 3 subjects. Okay, now here we need to print what is the average. Here we need to print what is the average. Okay, so after printing average, ఇప్పుడు మనకి టోటల్ ఎంతో తెలిసిపోయింది, యావరేజ్ ఎంతో తెలిసిపోయింది. Now what the thing to be performed is, if that particular average, ఇక్కడ వాల్యూ వస్తుంది మనకి, యావరేజ్ ఒక వాల్యూ వస్తుంది కదా, if that particular average is greater than or equal to 70, then print the student has got A grade. Okay, next, elif if that particular student has got average which is greater than or equal to 60, then we need to print like the student has got grade B. Okay, in the same way, elif if the student average is greater than or equal to 50, then we need to print like the student has got grade C. Again, consider an elif condition. If the student has got the average greater than or equal to 40, then print that student has got the grade as D. Then that particular student has got grade as D. If anything is not available in here, then what we need to be considered is fail. So in the if condition, what I have mentioned, you need to get minimum marks. If condition lo ee minimum marks untene these all need to be get executed. If not, that particular person is failed. failed. So the average of these 3 marks will be 81. The average of these 3 marks will be 81. Since 81 is greater than or equal to 70, our output will be printing as grade A. Our output will be printing as grade A. Suppose if the student has got 55%, suppose if the student have got an average of 55, then our output will be grade C. Then our output will be grade C. Suppose if the student has got an average like 39.5, since I have considered average in float values, the average can be in floating point also. If the student has got 39.5, if the student has got 39.5 as average, then he comes under failed only. Then he comes under failed. See here, if this particular student has got 100 marks in C++, sorry, C, and 100 marks in C++, and if he got 39 marks here and 39 marks here, okay, here the condition will be failed, right? Why? Because in every subject you need to get 40 marks. Here this if condition will be failed. So automatically he will be considered as failed. Automatically he will be considered as failed. That means average ఒక్కటే మెయిన్ కాదు. ఈ కండిషన్ సాటిస్ఫై అయితే అప్పుడు యావరేజ్ చెక్ చేసుకొని యావరేజ్ ని బేస్ చేసుకొని గ్రేడ్ ఏనా బీనా సీనా డీనా అనేది డిసైడ్ చేయాలి. అసలు ఈ కండిషన్ ఫెయిల్ అయితే ఆటోమేటికల్లీ we will be getting the output as failed. Okay. Okay. Today I will end the class with this particular program. In the next class, we shall discuss about the for and while loops. How can we use for loop? How can we use while loop? Okay. Are there any doubts in this particular class? Are there any doubts in today's class? Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.